Hello everyone, this is Dr. E, and for today we're going to be talking about how to solve algebraic equation both analytically and graphically. In finding solutions of certain functions or mathematical or algebraic equation, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it takes a while to process just to find the value of our x's. And that is what we're going to be talking about in our discussion for today. So I'm going to share with you how I show and teach my students how to answer algebraic equations both by hand and using technology. So first, some equations are easy to work with, like linear equations. Finding the value of x would probably sometimes take you 1, 2, or maybe 3 steps to find your solution. But for quadratic equations, or when the exponent is becoming bigger, the process of finding your solution may take a while, because for quadratic equations like x squared, 2x squared plus 5, or x squared plus 7x plus 3 equals 0, to solve its function, you need to sometimes use factoring. And if factoring is not going to use or not going to work, we use completing the square technique. And if all else fails, then we are going to resort to quadratic formula. So these are the methods that we use in solving our quadratic equation analytically. And sometimes when we're working with polynomials or equations with a highest exponent of, let's say, 3 or 4 or 5, and it's not factorable, we resort to factor root theorem or remainder theorem, or using Desmos. So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you, how I use Desmos or technology to teach our students and show our students how algebra is being used and how algebra can be visualized using technology. So this is our example. So I have 3 examples here. I have a linear equation, 2x plus 3 is equal to 5, which is going to be very easy for most of us to answer. We have a quadratic equation, 4x squared plus 2x is equal to 0. And we have problem number 3 right here, which is x cubed plus 2x squared minus x minus 2, which is a cubic function that is not factorable. So we're going to go ahead and solve the first problem. And we know that we only need 2 steps to answer this problem. So we subtract 2 on both sides, so 2x is equal to 2, and then we divide 2 on both sides, and with 2 steps we have x is equal to 1. And problem number 2, it's a quadratic equation, and to find its solution we need factoring by GCF. So our GCF here is going to be 2x, and inside the parentheses we'll be left with 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, and now we have the zero product property to use. So we'll have 2x is equal to 0 and 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. And by solving for the first equation, we know that it will turn into 0 because x is equal to 0. So that's our first solution. And for the second solution, we subtract 1 on both sides. So it's going to be negative 1. And we divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to negative 1/2. So that will be our second solution for our quadratic equation. And for problem number 3, to be able to solve this problem, we would most likely use factor root theorem. And some of the examples of this theorem that we use is in the description box below. We can also use remainder theorem. And to be able to use these theorems, we need synthetic division to be able to find the solutions of a cubic function similar to this one. And just like what I mentioned, you can find all those processes in our description box below, because what I'm going to share with you is how we use technology. So we have here our cubic function, and x cubed plus 2x squared minus x minus 2 using our Desmos will give us the solution, because all you need to do is to graph it. And since we know that the solutions of our equation is basically the point of intersection of our graph to the x-axis. So we have three solutions here because the cubic function crossed the x-axis 3 times at -2, at -1, and at +1. And we know that this is correct because if we're going to verify the first two answers on our first answer, 2x plus 3 is equal to 5, we know that our answer is +1, and we know that that solution is right here. And you can see that it intersects at 1, 0, so x is equal to 1. And for x squared plus 2x, we know that our answer is 0 and -1/2. So this is the parabola with the solution at -0.5, which is -1/2, and 0. So by using our technology, we're able to verify that our answer that we've just worked on a while ago is pretty much the same as what we have in Desmos, because this is how we answer problems using technology. So for problem number 3, we know that x is equal to, just like from Desmos result, we have -2, x is -1, and x is equal to 1. So we know that they are all correct because we have the same result that we got from using technology. And this is why it's important that we know how to use technology to be able to verify our answer, not necessarily to cheat, but to use technology to our advantage so that we'll be able to learn better. So those are the two things that I want to share with you: finding the solution of an equation algebraically and finding the solution of some more complicated equation graphically, so we can verify if our answer is correct. So if you're an educator who are teaching how to work with functions or equations and finding its solutions, comment it down below and we'll love to hear from you. And for our students who are practicing and trying to master algebra, we have our videos in the description box below, so you can watch it and share it to your friends, because to be able to be better in mathematics, all we need to do is to practice until we master each scale that we have in algebra or calculus, in geometry, or in statistics. And again, technology, it will help us, but don't be too dependent and just rely on technology without understanding the algebra behind it, because we are using technology just to verify and see if our answer is correct, so that it will build our self-confidence whenever we are working with any math problems. So this is Dr. E, and see you again next time. Bye!